For people meeting you for the very first time, who are you today beyond titles, companies, and outcomes?
A dad, husband, basically heavily value my time being those, probably first and foremost.
What was the moment that made you realize that I don't want to keep building someone else's version of success? I want to go build my own.
Foregoing 15 years of developing a presence as a leader. It is hard, but at a certain point, I thought I was done.
This conversation is about identity, ownership, and what it really takes to build a life that actually fits. This is the Authentic Edge podcast. Real conversations with real leaders who've dropped the mask, faced the truth, and found growth that actually fits. I'm Mike Secord, and every episode we pull back the curtain on what it takes to lead, live, and grow with authenticity. Because here, authenticity always wins. All right, well, welcome to the Authentic Edge podcast. Today's guest is Ryan Yockey. And this isn't just a burnout story that we've got here. This is something that every leader is going to want to hear. So Ryan didn't just flame out. He didn't get pushed out of corporate. He chose ownership. He moved on. And after leading global engineering teams and scaling companies to billion-dollar outcomes and holding VP level roles, Ryan made a deliberate decision to stop renting his talent and start building it on his own terms. He is a five-time founder and multiple exits and grew a large LinkedIn audience from over 1,200 people, which is good, to over 100,000 people, which is amazing, under a year, and now helps performers turn experience into real businesses with freedom, leverage, and presence. This conversation is about identity, ownership, and what it really takes to build a life that actually fits. So welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
So I just got to get it out of there right away because I mentioned it and you said it's one of the first things. He's got a trident right behind him and a Captain America shield. So for all you fellow Marvel and DC and Star Wars nerds out there, you're in the right community here to be talking with Ryan.
Yeah.
So Ryan, for people meeting you for the very first time, who are you today beyond titles, companies, and outcomes?
Behind all of that, a dad, husband, basically heavily value my time being those, probably first and foremost. And then beyond that, I just get to spend a lot of time helping people and giving back as much as I possibly can. So coaching that side of my business and all of that beyond my business work. But that's my primary objective. Then, like you said, being a nerd too, falls somewhere in there, playing video games and nerding out on the
Yeah.
latest, comic book movie that's coming out or something that's going to happen soon. It's going to keep happening.
Thank God it keeps happening.
I know, right? I keep looking for the next movie series, and I'm like, I am chomping at the bit for the next like Marvel Avengers run, like whenever Doomsday comes out. So this is the level of nerdiness I'm at. I constantly check when the movies are coming out. So
Oh yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I'm with you. I love binging those YouTube videos and going on this stuff.
I know.
So you didn't burn out and you weren't forced out of where you were at. You chose ownership.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the moment that made you realize that I don't want to keep building someone else's version of success? I want to go build my own.
That's a good question. I don't know if I ever stopped wanting that. And however, opportunities show up in your life at certain points. So I spent like the first 15 years of my career just being an entrepreneur and building things and being my own boss for a long time, building web properties and selling them, businesses, that kind of stuff. And that's like the majority of where my early acquisitions and exits really came from. But at a certain point, I thought I was done. And then a good friend of mine was working at a startup in the Bay Area and pulled me into it. And it's hard to say no to working with your best friend when you don't need to worry about a lot of things. But then I think you get kind of, or I do at least, I knew I got somewhat complacent, for the lack of a better term, and you kind of just get stuck in, titles and growth and like follow, I'm an achiever and I want to continue to achieve. And it's like, oh, can I beat this ladder? Can I get to the top of the next title? Can I get VP, like you said? Can I get CTO at some point? Or can I be a CEO at some point? And it's like that, while that's fun, like you said, renting my time to people, knowing when I know exactly what my value is worth to the world is hard to continually give up. So at a certain point, that sort of ownership and intentionality with what I was doing really started to bubble up. And I would say that really happened for me in the last year. And then it's like, okay, how do I take that and what does that next step look like? And how do I start to develop this while I'm still responsible for not just
Hmm.
myself, but so many other people's jobs and opportunities and their growth?
Hmm.
And I take that personally when I'm leading big teams, 100 people or 150 people at a couple of places. And so, how do you do that well while still building your own thing and trying to get to the next era of your life? And for me,
Hmm.
that was it turned out to be LinkedIn. I enjoyed it. It was easy at the time and it felt like something I could systematize and work towards the next stage of my life. But it ended up coming up sooner than I expected. It was like 6, 7 months, like you said, and I cracked 100,000 followers super fast. And I got inbounds all the time. People are always asking me, like, what do you do? How do you do that?
Hmm.
What's the next stage? How do I do that for my executive career? Because it doesn't just translate for me, it translates for the business too. The
Yeah.
farmer stock benefits from that. And if you're an executive with a huge following, that's easy to hire people or easier to hire great
Hmm.
people. Um, so yeah, translated in a lot of cool ways, like right away. Didn't happen overnight, but
Hmm.
certainly took effort and
Yeah.
time. But I enjoy it too. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And this follow-up question I have for you is I find that at least with myself, I had some things that I was addicted to in what I was doing.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed this. Like you were talking about the chase, the what's
Yep.
the next title. I was addicted to those kind of things. And I wanted to keep going down that. But yet I also was a little afraid
Mm.
of like, if I step away, am I going to lose that kind of thing? So, what were you afraid that you might lose when you finally made that decision? I'm going to choose myself.
Yeah. Same, probably. It's like, okay, if I walk away from this, am I foregoing 15 years of developing a presence as a leader, um, and or helping to build other businesses? It is hard. And then the other sort of facet is like, there's that imposter syndrome sort of effect that I think everybody feels at some stage or
Hmm.
another. It's like, can I really do this? Is it even possible? Um, I had a bit of a guarantee, or not a guarantee, but a higher likelihood given I was able to build this following while I was still fully employed. And I think
Hmm.
that does help. Um, but still making the leap, I wasn't making any money off of any of that stuff at that point. And
Hmm.
or I wasn't making much. I think I was starting to do sponsored engagements and things like that that definitely come with a bigger viewership, but it still didn't, it's not like my full time income and
Hmm.
supporting a family, like I said. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, there's that facet. It's like, okay, I'm responsible for other people. If it was just me, I probably would have taken the leap and been like, cool, let's go for it. No fear.
Yeah.
Like, but when you have people that you're responsible for in your own life, whatever that may be, that's a big risk, right?
Hmm.
And I was strategic about it mainly because I had the followership. But then from that point, it's like I had to believe in myself at that point and just take a leap, right? And when I did, ironically, everything just like started showing up like magic,
Hmm.
whatever you want to call it, right? Divine
Yeah.
intervention. The universe was coming at me. God gave me a chance. What you take your pick, right?
Hmm.
And but it started to show up, and it was like, okay, I feel like I'm making the right choice. And then you kind of have to, you still have to get the ball rolling from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was a lot of imposter syndrome, I think, in the beginning. It's like,
Hmm.
am I somebody that people would actually come to for advice for strategic leadership, even though I was doing it at work all day. I led
Yeah.
strategy for a huge company.
Hmm.
Um, to think that other people would naturally just come to me for that, or as you build a presence, come to you for that
Hmm.
was fascinating,
It is.
and a risk.
It's
So,
it's so it's so awesome. Like you said a couple of things that I want people to hear back. You said you use the word strategy,
mhm.
and and then you're like, will they find me? Will I imposter syndrome? Am I gonna be authentic and where I'm at? And I think it's so awesome that you had a strategy to go forward. You didn't even know you had a strategy. You were
Mm,
just doing what comes so natural to you. It's like, and then you have this moment where you're like, what more evidence do I need to see that I can do this because I do it for everyone else. So, I think that little bit that's in what you just shared, I think everyone has that. And it's like the more other people can hear that, hey, we're no matter how successful anyone is, they have the same thing you have. It's just step out from behind that mask and go there. So,
I
this leads
agree.
me into the golden handcuffs kind of trap question here. Is
Oh my gosh.
a lot of high performers, they feel stuck, not because they're failing, but really it's because they're successful
Yeah.
and they feel like they're stuck. And what identity shift has to happen before someone can actually step into founder mode in
That's,
there? Like, what did
yeah.
you have to do?
I can tell you for myself and also for my clients that I deal with too that are in that stage quite often. The golden handcuffs, and if you've never dealt with it, is like you have a big cash grab that can come for you at any point, and it's like you could have a huge. For some people, it's a massive IPO. For some people, it's guaranteed RSUs all the time. You're just making tons of money all the time. Um, Having that is tough, right? And knowing that you're constantly doing work for other people. And I think the gap too that you start to realize, especially if you are a high performer, is that you're contributing so much and you obviously get paid very well to do it more often than not. And I certainly was. And however, you know what you're capable of earning, right? And what that delta looks like. And it's like, oh my gosh. And most people don't actually realize what they're worth too. And I think that's the hard part is to realize what your value truly can be out in the world.
Hmm.
Um, and then how do you authentically be able to share? And I like to use the word authenticity there, right? But how do you share
Hmm.
that value effectively so that it's conveying your experience, the strategies that you've developed, the nuanced details that you have that differentiate you from the masses, right? And
Hmm.
make you you. And for me, I had to do that through trial and error a lot. And being a software engineer first in my career, I'm used to failing a lot. Like you write code, things blow up, you do it again, right?
Hmm.
And even in production environments where you're launching stuff to thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of people, if things blow up, you learn that it's not the end of the world, right? And it's
Hmm.
okay. And you start again. And so you build that muscle. I built that muscle so many times that it's inherent in how I operate. I am not afraid to put myself out there and try things. Um, and I think that's where I got to at a certain point. It's like, okay, I've developed this vision. I know what I'm capable of making now because I can start to see what, you build a presence and then you start to meet
Hmm.
people and you put yourself out there to network and meet more people. And then you really understand what their income looks like as one golden handcuff facet and what's really possible for you.
Hmm.
And then you realize a lot of people are doing it and you're not that alone in this. And I think that's the facet that people get stuck on. It's like, oh, I'm on my own. I got to figure this out for myself. um, no one's going to show me, which is why you sometimes get a coach, right? But
Hmm.
hopefully you just get a friend that you can
Hmm.
willingly just go talk to at a certain point and be like, hey, is this normal? Can I do it? And more
Yeah.
often than not, and I think I had to hear it at a couple of points. It's like, yeah, you're capable of doing this. My wife is like my biggest champion on that stuff, right? She'll be
Hmm.
like, oh, you got this. Look at what's happening. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I'll go do that. Okay, I'll step up. And
Yeah.
my coaching clients ask me for the same thing more often than not. They work in
Hmm.
huge, like Fortune 100 companies, right? And they're like, can I actually ask for a sale on this thing? Can I go make a post about this? Like, is it okay? I'm like,
Hmm.
what do you think? Like, yeah, it's fine. No, it's cool. Go do it. Go
Hmm.
try. And I would say 9 times out of 10, it's successful. And they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now I have permission and I have the ability and I know what I'm personally capable of. It's almost like they just got over this huge hump and now they're capable of going so much further.
Exactly.
And so I think that's just an amazing experience to witness, but also to
Hmm.
feel for yourself and take that risk and take that chance. And then you get the validation and then things start snowballing and things happen. Everything grows
Yeah.
from there and you just have to try
Hmm.
more often than not. But for me, security came from building followership and then being comfortable in what I had built, right? And knowing
Hmm.
at that point that I'm capable of making it at the next level. Um,
Yeah.
and it is still a risk, right? There's no
Hmm.
guarantee. That's the other facet of doing what I do now as a solopreneur or entrepreneur starting over. It's you. You do everything. Your
Hmm.
marketing, your sales, your customer service, your tech support, you are everything.
You
Um,
wear all these hats.
yeah, you're a therapist to people sometimes
Hmm.
too.
Yep.
And so it's a lot. And you just have to be prepared for those things. But I think once you get there, you get used to it, right?
That is so great. And what's so cool about what you shared with the following and with the coaches and friends and your wife giving you encouragement. It's like you've had so many things around you that others could see that you couldn't see because you were so close to it, that they
Mm-hmm.
give you validation back. I mean, you built a 100,000 person following on LinkedIn without pushing an agenda other than just being you.
Yeah. Just helping
And
people.
like, so when you look at it from that, when you look at it there, it's like, what can I do if I actually have something that can actually help people in a way that I wasn't able to help them prior to this? So,
Oh, yeah.
hats off to you. So that's great. So you used LinkedIn as a vehicle,
Yeah.
but this really isn't about the platform. It's, what do people misunderstand about building a personal brand that actually makes money that you were able to do?
I think the some of the biggest misconceptions is that you need to be this like, and I think I wrote a note on Substack, which is where I also keep a bunch of my content. But it's that you have to be viral and everything has to be numbers. Yes, I have 100,000 plus followers these days. I think I'm closing in on 140. I don't pay attention to the numbers nearly as much these days. Um, while it's nice that I have that and it turns into certain income opportunities like sponsored brand deals, that kind of stuff, I am I work with people and I know other people who have 5,000 followers and make twice as much as I do, um, or more, really, in some cases. And so I think one misconception is that you need this gigantic audience to be successful, or you need every post to be perfect. That perfectionism trap follows a
Mhm.
lot of us around. The imposter syndrome is another one for sure. It's like, can I actually say these things? Will people believe me? Why should they believe me over the 10 other superstar, people on whatever platform you're choosing? And this can go
Mhm.
across anywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn. The
Yeah.
same methodologies translate across all platforms for the most part. Um, and I think that sort of trap of am I enough? Is this enough? Gets people stuck in that mode. When in
Mhm.
reality, if you have cultivated the right audience from the get go, right? If you just talk about what you're an expert at, um, we could take design for instance. One of my clients is a head UX designer for a huge company, and all he talks about is UX design. Small following, but it generates a ton of income for his side business and takes zero time really for him to do that.
Mhm.
I think it takes him like maybe an hour a week. And it's authentic. It's him. It's how he talks. He's not trying to play to the gigantic audience, which you totally can do. And there's
Hmm.
strategies to get big followings and do all of that, but you don't need it. Um,
Yeah.
and I think once he accepted that, he flourished, right? Prior to that, he thought he had to come up with the next viral post. And he would message me all the time. He'd ask me like a billion questions, like, should I tweak this and that? What should this look like? What's the right color? Is this the right? And this is a designer,
Hmm.
right? And he's
Yeah.
used to shipping something to millions of people. And I'm like, just launch it, watch what happens, see what it
Yeah.
is, right? Try. And then, but learn, right? Read the comments, engage in the community,
Hmm.
use the social network for what it is.
Hmm.
And I think within a few weeks, he completely let go of all of that sort of apprehensiveness that sits in the back of our heads
Hmm.
when we take that leap. And
Yeah.
as soon as he did, he got his followership grew. He wasn't even trying. And he got paying clients through the door. He was happier, way less stressed. And I think he has a path now for him to, or the optionality, like we were talking about before, to
Hmm.
walk away from his golden handcuffs if he ever wants to. Like,
Yeah.
or he just now has supplementary income, which he
Hmm.
doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
So I think I think that's what people get stuck on by and large, right? That
Hmm.
perfectionism, that size, right? It's like, I can't remember what the right word is for it, but it's like, it's when you're just basically trying to model yourself off the top people in any space. It's
Hmm.
like if I'm going on YouTube and I want to be Mr. Beast, it's like I'm not going to be Mr. Beast right away at all, right?
Yeah.
I think very few people get
Hmm.
there, but you can do very well on your own. And if
Hmm.
you're just authentically yourself, you'll do great, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, are there nuanced details to making it to that point? Is there luck involved? 1,000%.
Hmm.
But it's possible for anybody, and I think
Yeah.
they just have to
Oh,
get out of
that's
their own way for the most part.
the lesson
The
right
lesson
there is
right
get
there is
out of
get
your
out of
own
your own
way.
way.
I tell
I
people
tell
lots of
people lots of
times
times
when they're
when
talking
they're talking
about
about
making
making
content and
content
doing
and
things
doing
and what
things
they
and what
should
they should
do, or
do, or
should I
should
start
I
this?
start
Should I
this?
start
Should I start
that? Or
that? Or
do I need
do I
these
need
kind of
these kind of
things? And
things? And
number one,
I
I
don't
don't
overthink
overthink anything.
anything.
I
I
just
just
do
do
what
what
comes
kind of comes
natural to
natural
me.
to me.
And I'm
And
willing
I'm willing
to
to
keep
keep
experimenting and
experimenting
keep
and keep
going. And
going. And
as long as
as
I'm
long as
having a
I'm
good
having a
time,
good
and when I
time, and when
stop
I
having a
stop
good
having a
time
good
is when I
time is when I
stop.
stop.
You know,
But
like for
like
Mr.
for
Beast,
Mr.
for
Beast, for
instance,
instance,
you're trying to
you're
be
trying to be
Mr. Beast
Mr. Beast
today.
today.
Go
Go
watch his
watch his
very
very
first
first
video he
video he
ever
ever
posted.
posted.
And you're going to
And
be
you're going to be
blown away
blown
at the
away at the
difference
difference
between
between
that and
that
what's
and
going
what's
on
going on
today.
today.
And you can
Yeah.
do
And you
that
can do
for
that for
anyone out
anyone
there.
out there. Anyone
That's
that's
there. Look at the
look at the
very
very
beginning and look
beginning
where
and look
they're
where
at.
they're at.
And
And
go and look,
go
go,
and
well,
look,
what's
well,
the
what's the
difference
difference
between
between
me
me
starting
starting
today,
today,
like they started,
and
and
them
them where they're
them
at?
where
Really,
they're
what
at?
it
Really,
is
what it is
time on
time on
task.
task.
They did
They
it
did it
over and
over
over,
and
and
over,
they
and
did
they
it
did it
committed
committed
and
and
consistent. So
consistent. So
I love
I
that you
love that
said
you
that
said
because
that
it's
because
so
it's so
true. It's
true.
like
It's like you
you
just
just got
got
to
to
get
get
out
out
there
there
and
and
do
do
it
it
and
and
stop
stop
overthinking it.
overthinking
And
it. And
I,
I
I really
I really
believe, at
believe,
least for
at
me,
least
because
for
I'm
me,
not
because
that
I'm not
smart of
that
a
smart of
guy,
a
but if
guy,
I have
but
to
if I have
think
to
too
think
much,
too
I'm
much,
doing the
I'm doing
wrong
the
thing.
wrong thing.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm
so
guilty too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like so
Like
just
So
kind
just
of
kind of
you
you
reminded me
reminded
of
me of
Gary
Gary
Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk.
It's like
It's like
I watched
I watched
him.
him.
I don't know how many people did when he was
When he was
making Wine
making Wine
Library
Library
TV,
TV,
which was his
which was his
first
yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
channel, way back when. And
and
he must have had like 20
20
people
people
watching
watching
the thing. And
the thing. And
I don't
like
drink these days, but this when I was drinking wine, I was like, oh, this guy's pretty smart. But he did that religiously every day. He's like, I'm just gonna hop on low budget. And this was back in the day, like 2008, probably.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
while ago.
He's using an actual camcorder to film the stuff.
Yeah,
Now
Has
now
his
we're
store.
yeah, we're lucky to have this. But he's doing it, and this speaks to like the executives that want to leave their company eventually. It's like sitting there in the store doing social content before it became a thing. and developed a massive following. I think if I'm not mistaken, blew up the wine library business, right? Made it huge. Gave him the opportunity to walk away, eventually start his own media company, and grow. But he never quit. I think he does an absurd amount of content today, and that's hard for a lot. And like you said, you look at today, trying to model now. And yes, he says like content platform. I would say don't do that because it's insane. Insane for somebody starting to master 10 platforms at once.
Yeah.
Unless you have a ton of money and a team and all that kind of stuff. Go for it. But and I think he's a great example. It's like he didn't start everywhere. He started on a place. Twitter. It's like okay. I'm just gonna post. Here's my stuff. Then video platform. Then blew up.
Right. And he's a great example. Leverage himself to be at the point where he's at. It's hard to look at and be Gary today because you don't have a team following recording every move.
No.
He's opened himself up that way, but he did really good at the things he needed to do to get himself there. And I think that's the main thing. Is don't try to be who people are today. Try to be who they were when they started.
Yeah. That's a really good way to
go for it. So when someone starts turning their experience into offers, what's the biggest mistake you see them make early on?
Perfectionism still overthinking it probably. Tangentially they try to go big to the on like stepping away from just those two things. They try to go big and do the whole audience one big push. Something I try to teach, and I've done it at every company I've ever been at. You always start with a smaller audience. You go and test the thing out, and you see if people are like even have an appetite for what you're doing. So you don't have to again overthinking, right? You don't have to overthink it. You don't actually have to build anything at all to start. You can just go ask your audience, whatever size it is. Hey, I'm thinking of building XYZ. Would you be interested in this? Yes or no? That's all you got to say. And they will tell you. Your audience will tell you if they're interested. A rabid audience will tell you first, and they'll be like, how do I do this? Please tell me, teach me. Pay you to teach me. That would be amazing if you build that audience. That lucky. And I've had that, but even still, I've had to go ask my audience, hey, is this something you're interested in? Yes or no? And it's as simple as that. Okay, I'm interested. Cool. Then you can even move. You can move as fast and slow as you want there. I'm offering this course. I'm offering this product. This is what it's going to look like. Would you pay $1,000 for this thing, or $500, $100? Oh yeah, totally. Or no, I can't afford that. That's crazy. Oh, thanks for telling me. Cool. I know how to back off of it. Right. They've. If you just walk through those basic steps, you could get really delineated, right? And say like, here's the image for the product, the title for the product, there's the course outline, like stage 1 to 10. Is that too much content? You can really ask for everything, and they will tell you. They will always tell you. If you just take and then take the feedback and act on it, please, and do that, right? Please take what they're saying and actually do it. Think you know everything, because they're telling you what they want. Build what they want to start. Then add whatever else you think is super valuable on top, right? And try to deliver, and then from that deliver the extra value. Find a way to provide 10x the value. Figure out how to do that. Now the other detail that I didn't even get at was the what of you build whatever you're building. And this is the thing that I still struggle with this, but it's what are you how much value is there and what is it worth is different than from what I would think it's worth versus what the customer thinks, or potential client, right? They might as simple as making a LinkedIn post, or talking about it, or how do you set up a podcast, right? That's to you or I might seem trivial, right? To somebody out there who's never done that before, has zero experience with any of it, that might be magic, like voodoo magic, and they need help getting there. If you can shorten that time and give them a ton of value, then they will pay for it. And be shocked at what people will pay for when you can do that. And this goes for any product, any business whatsoever. And I think people again overthink what their audience actually wants, versus what they think should be delivered. So
it's amazing how much thinking we put versus just asking. Like you said, just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Ready. They will.
They are.
And
if
you
they
build a good
audience,
audience,
want to tell you.
Yeah. Like if you involve them in the content creation process too. It's like, hey, do you like this content? Is this more what you want? No. Go back to the old stuff. Okay. We're good. Yes. Make more of it. Okay. Churn out more. It's not more complicated than that. And yes, people vote like on social platforms. We get engagement, comments, engagement, and stacks or reposts, what have you, as a barometer. But it's enough to start. Now to get a true gauge, you should ask. 100% should be asking, and regularly. They love to hear it.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a very powerful, great conversation with you, Ryan. And I'm gonna go put this out there as an ask already because I can tell you've got so much more to give. So watch this video. Let us know what you wish Ryan would have asked. Put it in the comments. He'll respond. Get out there. We'll do future things. But I know there's more out there that you want. So just make sure you ask it. We'll deliver it back to you. So if someone listening realizes they've been renting their talent instead of owning it, where's the best place for them to contact you to get information on?
The easiest way is LinkedIn. So Ryan Yockey. My last name like hockey with a Y. It's an easy way to say it. And then I'm also on Substack. We have codes.substack.com. So either place. You can find me on both. But yeah. Happy to talk to anybody. I would be more than happy to help anybody out with any of that stuff. You just ask me. I'm happy to answer comments all day. And thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure in the comments below, guys, you guys all the ways to get a hold of Ryan and check him out. We'll make sure they know it's But thanks for the work you're doing. Really appreciate it. Love the feedback you've given. I know my audience can generate and see themselves in this and take that next step because there's you may be a few chapters ahead of them, but they're in the same book and they know they're coming up to the same thing as you are. So thanks for everything you've got. Thanks for going way above and everything you're doing. I appreciate it. And that's the end of the show, guys. Welcome. Thanks for listening to the Authentic Edge podcast.
Thanks for having me, Mike.